I'm gonna be honest with y'all. There were people that did not say a word. I'm looking to the camera real quick. Let me look into the camera. It was folks that didn't say one word while I was promoting this, not a word. But the day after, when I start kind of posting the screenshots of how people responded to it, oh my God, I'm so proud of you, sis. That's so dope. I knew you could do it. It looks like y'all had a good time. So you mean to tell me in 4 weeks you couldn't share a flyer? You couldn't tell me that beforehand? You couldn't tell me good luck beforehand? Some people are not going to support what you're doing until you can do it and it looks like it was successful, or until it's the popular thing to do.
Well, darling, there's only one God. Darling,
Welcome to the Dirty Bag Podcast. I'm your host, Cookie, and as always, thank you for tapping in. You could be anywhere, but you're here with your girl, and I appreciate you so much. I love you. You are my family. Speaking of family, y'all, we did our first live show. You can't tell me nothing. It's next level activated. I'm not playing with y'all in these streets. What we doing? So I do want to unpack the whole, just the leading up to it. Y'all, trying to create a live show is very stressful. Okay? When you're doing a thing for the first time and you're bringing in other people, other personalities, other perspectives, it's a lot because you don't want to mess up. And this is going to be the first of many. So, that first one is pressure. But let me just say one thing before I even get into the meat and potatoes. Everybody can't be a part of y'all vision, y'all. My biggest stressor the past few months is being worried about being perceived as a bitch. Because I don't know if y'all noticed, but I got a little bit of a strong personality, okay? Tend to be a little blunt, I don't always, sometimes my mouth works quicker than my mind. It leaves my brain. It just does what it wants to do. That's kind of been me my whole life. I'm not making excuses for it. It's not a this is the way I am type of rant right now. None of that. But I've been mindful as of late in this big age of mine of how I come off to people and how my words can impact, especially when it is no tone communication, DMs, and text messages. And coming into this, I invited a small army. I ain't gonna hold y'all. This was like Destiny's Child, Survivor, the original DC4, where people got not, and in this case, it wasn't kicked off, but I had to make a smart decision real quick for what it was I was trying to accomplish. Now, I'm one of those people, y'all know I want to bring everybody in. If you've ever given me a great vibe, if you've ever hit me up about wanting to collab, I wanted to bring all those people under in one room and see what kind of magic we can make. My intentions were great out the gate, but within 24 to 48 hours, it was like, nah, baby, you're going to have to chop this up a little bit. And the frustrating thing for me is that when I have an idea about something in my mind, it's supposed to go that way. That was the vision. You got to see it through, stick with it. This is what you're doing. And in reality, that's not realistic. One of my coaches told me, you have to, when you're creating anything, you have to be like a bridge. Now, I'm probably the ignorant one of all of us because I didn't realize when bridges are created, they're made to sway, which is probably why also the arch, which is not a bridge, but it scared the hell out of me once I realized it moved, and that's why I would never go in it. St. Louis thing, we won't go in that thing, but learning that it moves freaked me out a little bit, but it makes sense now. You have to create things for whatever type of weather conditions comes your way. And in this case, it was making sure you have the right people in position for what you're trying to execute. At least first time around, I'm going to do a few live shows. So I decided I wanted to break up how I wanted to have this panel. And one big thing about creating a panel or a live show is you have to have the right personalities. It has to be a nice little gumbo mix of people to make sure you're entertaining. Everybody ain't got to have the same personality. I'm over the top, right? I'm a little bit extra. Somebody else might be a little bit more introverted. Somebody else might be more of a statistical person. They only speak when they're presenting facts, things that are well researched. It's just, you have to have, it's got to be the right people. Let me quit trying to make this shit fancy. What I realize about myself and this platform is I want to extend it to everybody. I want us all to grow together. I want us to be amazing storytellers. But you got to be bought into the vision. I need people that have 100% buy-in. Meaning, I don't want you to come rock with me because it's just a good opportunity for what you got going on. I want you to care. I want you to give a damn. Unpopular opinion. Sometimes folks collab with you that don't like you. I know y'all might not want to hear that. Some people don't rock with you, but sometimes they can see the benefits of attaching themselves to you, so they'll come along with it. And I'm not saying that was the case here, although with one situation it definitely was. I'll get into that some other time. But sometimes people want to come eat off the vision, but they don't really rock with the person in the kitchen. And I don't want that. I do not want that. I want people that believe in what I'm doing, which is why you have to also have people that respect your work. One thing I learned about me, I'm a talker. I don't like editing. We know this. I done so much BTS of me in the studio, damn near in tears. I've been in tears because things have gone wrong, but that required me to stay all night till it got right. It required me to get home after midnight. And this is as somebody that's not good at it. I'm not a techie girl, but when I deal with techie people, I want things done a certain way. So because I understand that I work hard, I want to align myself with those who also, if things go wrong, you willing to commit to the mission and you ain't going to stop until it's done. Everybody don't move that way, right? So you have to make sure that when you are bringing people into your vision and your baby, something that you put your blood, sweat, and tears into, they respect what's going on. And they're willing to work twice as hard as you because they see what's going to happen down the road. Now, I may be a small platform now, right? I'm still learning. We not 4 years in yet. So there's still a lot of growing to do, but I see where it's going. I may not know the destination now, but I know it's going to be impactful. I know it's going to be huge. So when you come into it, you invested in something that's going to be huge too. I'm going to go ahead and pop my shit real quick. That's what it is. So let's get into the live show. And just so y'all know, when I made changes early on to the lineup, I lost sleep over it. Like I was really stressing myself behind my own thing. Sometimes we will talk ourselves out of what we know we need to do. I had to have people convince me of my own intuition about things, my own discernment, because my discernment in my eyes made me look like somebody that's flaky, that changes her mind a lot, that ain't, solid. And I don't like that. I don't want that to be the perception of me. So yeah, I lost a lot of sleep getting to the road of Dirty Bag Presents Grown Folk Trenches. So let's get into who ultimately sat with me the night of June 5th, which will forever be a legendary night in my book, because it was the first of a very long flight of stairs that I'm taking. First person. Let's get into Brianna. Brianna Latrice, who is the host of Life After Infidelity podcast. That's her brand. She's an author, TEDx speaker, obviously, infidelity, recovery, affair recovery coach. She has this energy about her that's extremely calming. And she's really about healing broken hearts, but also she helps you navigate if you choose to stay. So somebody like her, she brings she's like a warm hug to me. She is about you becoming your best self. She's about you being accountable to the bad decisions you make in your life while also giving grace. She's that grace guest. She doesn't beat anybody down. And also, I'm going to be honest with y'all, a lot of me finally making a step to do a live show came behind a conversation she and I had about an experience of hers with like people deciding on speakers for a certain event and her not being chose. And I thought that was crazy because anybody doing an event, you talking about Black women's strength and overcoming adversity, it would make sense to have a woman like her on there. So after she and I got done talking, I was like, now, I had an idea to do a panel or live show for a couple of years now, and I brushed it off because I didn't feel like I'd proven myself yet in the podcast space to do that, which is kind of goofy, actually. But us having that conversation and me having gone to so many different networking events and panels, I'm like, bet, we got the sauce, we got the juice we need to make this happen. You tripping. Like, I want to highlight real women. Not saying that nobody else is real, but sometimes the transparency isn't always there. Everybody likes an easy surface level story. as I was building my business, it was just hard, but I made it through. Tell me about your hard. What was that journey? Was the hard you didn't know which nanny to pay for? Because that's a hard some folks can't relate to. Was your hard deciding on whether or not your husband will work more hours or less out? Like, what does your hard look like? And is that hard relatable to the average woman or people that are really out here in the trenches going through it? So Brianna was a no-brainer. Next one was Alicia of Twin Nation, who has been on the podcast a few times. She's done quite a few of the midweek cookie crumbles. Now, Alicia is young. She's a self-proclaimed baby kid. She calls herself the new adult because she's young, but she's been through quite a bit. But the thing about people like Alicia, behind the scenes, she's a beast. Digital marketing, like she can do all of that. That girl can get some good content. But she's also somebody with a voice that, from my observation and conversations with her, she's played small a lot. Now, she's an authority in Black hair. Like, she has her hair talk. She does that, but she has things to say outside of that sometimes she doesn't because she's representing a brand or, she has other things going on. She has a career. She's one of those main characters that, in my opinion, doesn't realize how much of a main character she really is. And one conversation that we had, because she does so many different things, to me, you are passionate about things. You have a brand that you're trying to grow. You have so many projects that you want to do. Make sure you're giving equal parts energy to the things you love as you are to somebody else's vision and somebody else's legacy. It's so dope that you can do so many things for so many people. But when you have a voice, if you water it down, one day you are going to be resentful. Because you will wake up and you will see so much time has passed and you haven't given your brand, your vision, your ideas the love and attention they deserve from you. So that's somebody that she don't necessarily like being in front of the camera, but she got a lot to say. But I'm like, well, when is anybody going to hear what you have to say? You bring, even in your youth, you bring so much to the table as far as letting us older women know how we failed you and how we need to calm down in our critiques of your generation. Like so I knew that Twin Nation was somebody that was going to bring that fire. And it's a fire that people need sometimes. She shakes the room up a little bit. You don't know what she going to say. You just know it's going to be off the wall. She going to be unapologetic. She going to be wild with it. And then she going to shock you with some young youth wisdom that you don't expect her to have. So I knew that she was going to come with a certain type of fire that was going to keep everybody on their toes. Now, this last one, and this is kind of a wild card because she wasn't originally one of the women that I brought into the initial meeting with the girls when I wanted to talk about the idea of this. And that is Lily. That's Leilani Russell. She is an activist here in Dallas. It was a full circle moment. In 2015, we had the 1-year anniversary of the uprising in Ferguson. And so many people came from all over the world. When I say all over the world, yes, all over the world, different countries. We had the Tibetan monks out there on the street. It was hot. Bless their little heart, they in the hood. We had so many different people and activists and leaders. And as we were doing the first march, there was this very tiny girl with this loud mouth. I mean, she was giving it to the cops, to everybody. She had her own chance. She was almost as passionate as the guys. And we had some fiery cats out there. Like, it was lit. But she was giving them a run for their money. And we all kind of kept going, who is this girl? And we found out she was with a small group that came from Dallas. And I said, well, hold on. I didn't know Dallas got down like that. Like, my idea was like, Southern hospitality, I just had a certain idea of Dallas. And that was the last group of people I expected to see out there on the streets with us. Found out the girl's name was Lily. We connected afterwards. And I learned so much about her over the course of the 6 months following. She'd been arrested so many times. She'd been assaulted by the cops so many times. She's basically been in activism since she was like 13, 14, since she was a young teenager. Like, she's done a lot on the ground here in Dallas. What I also knew about her, just like myself, is that she'd hit a point with activism where it was time to pour into herself. And that you learn sometimes when you try to give so much of yourself to the community, sometimes when you hit that brick wall, when you need them to show up for you, they don't always do it. And now you're faced with, I want to be here for community, but I got to be here for myself. And like she said on that at the live show, you can try to change the world, but your kids only got one mama. So what is it for you to give yourself to everything else, but your kids are lacking? You're depriving your children of like your number one priority on this earth is to be there and to guide them and make sure they're safe. So you can't make sure everybody else is safe and neglect your kids. We both had that moment as activists. So I knew that she went through a bit of a transformation. And I knew it would be dope to have her on the panel because she was going to be raw with it. And I wanted somebody that's been in the streets. Like, it's one thing for everybody we're in the era of, and this is one of the moments where I be trying not to sound shady, but we are definitely in our influencer era. Everybody wants to be an influencer, but you're not always influencing. Don't take that the wrong way. Sometimes being an influencer is living your life in a way that inspires people, that makes them want to change, that makes them want to stand up for something, that makes them want to fight for something. And you're not doing it for anything in return. You're not doing it for a brand deal. You're not doing it for a check. You're doing it simply out of the love for your people. That's an influencer to me, as well as what the rest of y'all do. Please don't take it the wrong way. My first entryway to content creation was being in the street getting tear gassed. It wasn't for content. It wasn't to blow up. It wasn't to go viral. But, content creator meetings essentially was us meeting in the streets and figuring out what form of resistance we was going to push out today. What message were we trying to get today? What message were we trying to put out today? What were we trying to inspire people to do today? What truths were we trying to give our community today about what was happening and what the cops were doing to us? So, yeah, Lily had to come in. And she was equal parts comedic. She was equal parts transparent and vulnerable. Like, there was some tears I didn't expect. We literally watched a rebirth. She cut her locks off the day of the live show. So she showed up. She had these fiery red locks before, beautiful locks. She showed up looking like a whole different person. And she admitted that she did that on purpose. So that was one of them moments for me where I wanted to cry. I did good the whole live show. When I got home, I was boohooing. And yes, it was also because we took shots at 1800 because that was gifted to me at the show. But for somebody to come to my event, to be one of the speakers and to use that as a time to be transparent about her struggles with motherhood, about what went on with her giving her all to the community and the community essentially failing her when she needed them the most. It takes a lot for people to share those kind of stories. Everybody don't want to do that. Everybody doesn't want to strip themselves down. And one thing that was said by one of the other girls about her grandmother telling her that, she always felt that, crying is not attractive. Actually, it is. To bare yourself, to put your soul out for complete strangers and let them know that they're not alone, that's a lot. And what ended up ultimately happening is I started getting DMs and text messages the night of the live show, like once it was over, within 2 hours, and even DMs the next day from folks that essentially wasn't even supposed to be there that night. A friend brought them out. We talking women saying, yo, I was going to go to some man's house that's been ghosting me, but a friend talked me into coming out. Or, just I feel inspired. I saw this, that, and the third on that stage tonight. Y'all, from little old my ghetto ass, my loud hood ass, inspiring people like that. This is what I'm here to do. And I think this is why I'm so critical of people that come into the podcast space. Because when you don't come into this with the right motives, with the right agenda, you miss an opportunity to really touch people that are just like you. You come in trying to go viral off talking about relationships and 50-50 or trying to be controversial. This is my opinion. Don't drag me, but you are missing your calling, not being true to what it is you do, the voice you have, the authority in whatever space it is, whatever it is you do. Like, quit trying to be trendy and just be yourself, because whatever it is you done went through, somebody needs it. It might not be a big deal to you. There was a college student in the audience that night, and she was the niece of Brianna. And she was, I guess afterwards, she was telling her, like, I didn't realize that even as a like an older adult, you still go through these things. I thought these were just things that we went through in college. She didn't know that 40-year-old women still go through foolery. I think she made the assumption that it just goes away at a certain age, and it doesn't. So I'm sitting here like, all right, so now I got to reach these babies to let them know, just keep on living. You're going to keep going through stuff. I'm sorry, but 30 and 40 does not mean your problems go away. It does not mean you stop getting your heart broken. It doesn't mean you stop making bad decisions. We should make less bad decisions, but I mean, we still make them. We still human, okay? So I say this to my creatives. Please know that there is so much impact out there waiting for you. It's impact based off you making the decision to be real about your platform and real about what you're here to do and being intentional about why you do what you do. Everybody needs to be intentional, and you ain't gonna make everybody happy. You're not. Some people ain't gonna support it until they see it's popular. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. There were people that did not say a word. I'm looking to the camera real quick. Let me look into the camera. It was folks that didn't say one word while I was promoting this, not a word. But the day after, when I start kind of posting the screenshots of how people responded to it, oh my God, I'm so proud of you, sis. That's so dope. I knew you could do it. It looks like y'all had a good time. So you mean to tell me in 4 weeks you couldn't share a flyer? You couldn't tell me that beforehand? You couldn't tell me good luck beforehand? Some people are not going to support what you're doing until you can do it and it looks like it was successful, or until it's the popular thing to do. And I feel like I say that every 3 episodes, but I need to like pound it into your head that you should not worry about the people around you. I put this together off relationships. Do you understand me? Relationships. Baby, I ain't rich. I ain't got no money. I ain't got nothing. There were literally people that once they saw me promoting this, they would DM me like, hey, I want to contribute to your swag bag. I want to give this. I want to give that. Or somebody saying, girl, I was waiting on you. Yeah, I'm going to ship it out to you. There was a cookie company that has been on the Jennifer Hudson show. Shout out to Glossy Brown Cookies out of New Jersey. Okay? Shout out to Canna Shots. Y'all, we had cannabis shots in the swag bag. I hope that everybody that went home and took that shot survived. I tested it out. I'll never do it again. Some things are simply not for me, and that's okay. But I'm sure some of y'all had a good time. When you're building things, sometimes strangers will come out and support. I had somebody all the way in Canada saying, yo, I can't be there, but I'm just going to send you this. This can go towards whatever you need, in which it went towards equipment for it. I had other women. We talk in South Carolina, Atlanta. Hey, I can't be there, but I want to sponsor a ticket. There are people that will rock with what you do and that will support you. So also, you don't need to accept excuses from anybody, because there's a million ways we can support. It's not always with your presence. So I say that, number one, I'm challenging you to raise your standards a little higher on what you accept from people. Don't be moved, and you don't have to entertain it either. If somebody gives you a whack-ass excuse for why they can't support something, don't even give energy to it. I'll look at that comment and keep scrolling. I'll look at that text and keep going. Girl, I ain't about to play with you right now. You could have did something. But we had a packed out house, y'all. I would have been happy, real talk, I would have been happy with 10 solid people. 10 people that came and listened. Y'all, the house was packed out. There was a few folks standing up. And I was trying so hard to keep it together, because it's like, it's easy to promote things and put events together when you are when you are attaching yourself to an entity that's already established, especially in Dallas. I realize I'm in a place where I'm still proving myself as a creative, and people still don't quite know who I am yet. So they're watching though. And I want y'all to keep watching. Just know I'm coming. Make it crystal clear. I'm coming. So to whoever needs to hear this, put the idea out there, but put some execution to it. Don't just talk. Be about it. Sometimes people do need to see you work, and then they'll collab with you. Sometimes the collaborations you want, they're not happening because people ain't seeing you work yet. And ain't nobody trying to just let you ride their coattails. And I hate to do this because I know how y'all be feeling about her, and y'all just get in y'all skin and get triggered when I bring her name up. But Beyonce, let's discuss the Beyonce effect real quick. Let's discuss the Beyonce effect, because I'm going to tie it into this. She dropped Cowboy I said Cowboy Powder. She a drug addict. Cowboy Carter. She featured what, 5, 6 black country artists? Since then, yes, their numbers went up, their streams went up, but also they start getting more opportunities. You want to know why? Because they were already putting in the work before the collaboration. You cannot expect to collaborate with somebody and whatever it is you got catapulting to the next level that you're chasing. You have to put in work, because when you put in the work, after people see this collaboration, let's say it was a bomb collaboration, they still gonna come watch and see who you are. So if you do a collaboration with anybody, bringing it back down to us regular people, if people go to your social media, your website or whatever, and they see that you haven't done anything, they're not going to follow you just because of this one person. They need to see consistency. And what has happened, Shabuzi specifically, I love him. That man fine. Hey, Shabuzi, I know you don't follow this podcast, but you fine as hell. He might be the person standing between Beyonce and Album of the Year. That man has been all gas, no brakes. So he promoted his features on the Cowboy Carter album, but he got back in the lab immediately. He got back to work immediately. He wasn't just waking up every day reminding us that he was on a Beyonce feature. He got back to his own work because he wanted you to respect his work. Same thing with Lil Buckle Bunny. Brianna, what is her name? No, Brittany. I'm messing these kids' name up. Forgive me. All of y'all talented. I follow them all. Raina, all of them. They recognize that Beyonce gave us an opportunity, but we still have to prove ourselves. So some of y'all, you have not got the collaboration you want because you have not proven yourself yet. And that doesn't mean you have a bunch of followers. That means actionable. One of the things I requested from this group of ladies early on, I said, my only ask is you put out your best content. Now, since then, I've learned that's a very broad statement. I thought it was common sense. To me, if somebody tells me put out your best content, that means put out the work that highlights you as a host, as a get, whatever. But apparently you have to be specific. So I understand next time around I need to give some specifics so I'm not, so y'all get it. But you do want to put out your best content. Always. People need to come to your page and say, you know what? That girl might have 90 followers, but she is feeding that 90 followers. She engages her audience. She gives them something. She's going to put in the work. I can see the vision. Let me go ahead and rock with her now. Let's go ahead and let's blow up together. And those are the kind of collaborations I'm looking for. So yeah, Beyonce gave people an opportunity, but I'm sure she probably looked them all up and saw the work they were putting in before. So no matter what y'all say about B, because y'all love to give her a hard time, she did the Lord's work. He gonna roll his eyes back there. She did what she needed to do for people that just needed an extra boost. So y'all gonna stay off of her. The way y'all staying off of Riri, dropping this hairline, and y'all ain't giving the same smoke. Yeah, I'm touching on that today. Now Riri is my girl. I love Riri. I love B. But I've seen some comments lately about how the reason Rihanna, who is now doing Fenty, even though that girl don't wear her hair ever, and we don't need her to. We don't need it. But y'all drug B for filth. She washed her hair. Y'all still giving her flack. But Riri had on a damn 27-piece grandma wig from 2003. And I know because I've had the same wig. Me and Rihanna got the same forehead. So I kind of base my wigs off what she can get away with because of the dimensions. So if certain things lay on that West Virginia mountain goat dome of hers the right way, I know it will compliment me as well. We got big heads. We fine as hell with big heads. It is what it is. But he back there losing his shit. But when somebody said, are y'all going to give Rihanna the same smoke y'all gave Beyonce, someone mentioned, well, a lot of people said no because Riri is relatable. I don't know how y'all think y'all relate to this billionaire, but you don't. You don't. I don't. Y'all want Beyonce to go live, beating her kid's ass for y'all to respect her. Y'all want her to go live going off on Jay-Z. Y'all want her to give your personal life. And I can say this as somebody that's about to be 42. We don't owe you everything, especially when we give it to you early on. That girl used to do them little interviews where that country Texas accent came out that y'all would drag her for. Y'all said she was country. She didn't know how to talk. And I'm in Texas now. A lot of people down here talk just like Beyonce. That's just, they country. But she gave so much early on. Even when she presented her child, I've never seen people drag a baby the way y'all drug Blue Ivy Carter for not looking like her mama. for having the African features her daddy got. Y'all drug that little girl. Y'all had memes saying she looked like a lesbian in prison. I remember that one. Y'all wrong. She had on a leather jacket with a little fro. And yes, that's what y'all said. So, because so many people go viral for their dirt, for things going wrong in their life, like homegirl and the random baby daddy from Atlanta, random man from Atlanta, this is what y'all want out of people like B. We come from a generation where, no, we gonna give what we give, and you gonna take what you take. And of course, Rihanna has to be relatable. Y'all, check this out. I had 3 crackers today. I don't know if y'all can hear it. You probably can't. But my stomach is growling because I'm still on my snatch journey because I'm trying to unbig my back a little bit. But I am dying a slow death. All I want is a Grand Slam. I just really want some Waffle House. Somebody in there cussing everybody out. Let me get back on topic, see? But y'all, the thing about Rihanna being more relatable is she ain't giving y'all music. So if she's not giving you music, she better talk to y'all because you ain't getting another album. And also, this is a mother of 2 now. She has a man. She is in love. She got her grown woman weight. Who's to say you would like an album from Rihanna where she is now in life? You might not like it. Y'all dragged her for Lift Me Up. Y'all hated that song. I love the song. Y'all said the song was horrible, that you changed the station every time it came on. So what if she gives you an album full of Lift Me Ups? What y'all gonna do? Learn to let people be in whatever season they are in life and not demand so much, because y'all mad now that you might not get another album. And you might not. And she doesn't have to give it to you. She done gave us skin. She done gave us lipstick that'll last through brunch. She giving y'all bras you can actually fit. She giving you drawers that actually can hold your fupa. What more do you want? We are in a selfish era where we want so much. We want people to be who we want them to be. And I think that's really messed up. So I don't know how I went through this many streets and came back to this, but yeah, the moral to the story is your vision is your baby, and you have to be very mindful about who you bring into it. They can make or break it. If something in your gut is telling you that this is not the right person for the team in this moment, next go round, yes. But for this first one, let me go ahead and make some smart decisions. Cool. When things are not working and there's not a synergy between you and whoever it is you bring on your team, you're not getting the results you want, it's okay to make changes and not be worried about being labeled a certain thing. Because if your stuff goes to shit, folks gonna laugh. They ain't gonna help you fix it. So if I'm gonna make a mistake, I wanna make it knowing it was my decision and it was my vision. Okay? There's that. Number 2, when people are creating products, sometimes it's not about what they don't show you, it's the person. We're triggered by not being allowed into folks' personal lives. I think that is crazy. I think that we all need to go to therapy because we operate that way. There's something about us that wants to see everybody else's trials, tribulations, and flaws. And I think it helps us deflect from our own issues. I think that's why the ask is so big, because your life seems perfect. My life is messed up. You keep winning and it bothers me. So I need to see something. We didn't see Rihanna stuff. But also, do the thing even if it's saturated. Everybody and their mama coming out with a hairline. So now that y'all done seen Rihanna with her 27-piece wig come out with a hairline, are you not encouraged and motivated yet to take a risk and do something? Because clearly black women out here just doing it all. So this was really all over the place, y'all. I'm just still really in a sea of happiness and gratitude that I did my first live show. I really wanted to unpack the process going into it and how I just want to entertain y'all. I want to entertain you. I want you to be inspired. I want to give space for people that I feel don't realize how much of a main character they are as of yet. I want to pull folks out of retirement, people that really have made contributions in the community for the better. I want people to give us a second try even after we've hurt, because it's happened. I myself, I'm trying to open back up to an area that I felt burned by. It was a lot. So yeah, I think that's all I got for y'all today. So thank you. Tap in. As always, I don't know if we still getting sick out here. I don't know if that next round of COVID or whatever the hell, I don't really know. But if you got to, y'all, wherever applicable. Wear your mask, wash your hands, socially distance. When you get a free moment, please remember to clean out your dirty bag. Till next time.
Well, darling, there's only